Hello, it's Jay here and welcome to another tutorial. In this lesson we're going to work on optimizing our flashlight script. Now here's where we left off. We have a fully functioning flashlight, but we also have a lot of code in the void update. And as you can see from this comment, the update is called once per frame, which means that this code is being read every frame, and it doesn't need to be. Some of this code only needs to be read when the flashlight is switched on. So let's move some things around first. So the first thing we're going to do is cut this function here where we make sure that we can't go above our maximum battery power. And I'm going to come here in the add battery function and I'm just going to paste it in there. So why move this code out here? Well, this is the only place we're adding battery power. So it's the only place we need the failsafe to make sure we can't go above our max in place. And now this piece of code will only be read when this function becomes active, i.e. when we try and add battery power. But let's come in here and I'm just going to come below void update and I'm going to create another new function. It's going to be of type private because nothing else has to access this function. It can be type void because it does not return a value, and we'll call this flashlight on. We'll open and close brackets, we'll open and close again. And I'm sure you guessed, this is for code that only needs to be read when the flashlight is active. So what we'll do now is we'll actually cut all of this where we set the intensity, spot angle and range, because we only need to set that when the flashlight is active. We'll cut all of this because we only need to drain battery power when the flashlight is active. And I'll just get rid of the empty spaces. And again, we only need to check to make sure we can't go below 0 when the flashlight is on, and the same for when we have the conditions for the function that creates the flicker effect, i.e. the flashlight modifier. So we can cut all of that and we will paste that in just below here. And I'll get rid of the empty line and we'll activate this function. So we'll say if open brackets and underscore flashlight dot enabled close brackets will open and close, and then we'll just call that function of flashlight on. We'll open and close and we'll close the line off and we'll put it into the comments. So we'll say if the flashlight is enabled, activate the flashlight on function. So as soon as the flashlight's enabled, we'll activate this function, and then only then do we do all the things that we actually need to do when the flashlight is enabled. Now, because we had a problem where it was trying to drain power as well as reset it to 0, we had to put the return statement in. We can actually now delete that because of this line of code here. So if we have a battery power of 0, the flashlight is disabled, which means that this function now can no longer become enabled. So we can no longer keep trying to drain the battery speed once it hits 0. So that return function is now no longer necessary. But we need one last thing to do, and this is to do with this part of the code here. This also sets the flashlight to be disabled for the flickering effect, but it would also mean that this function cannot run, and we can fix that easy by just coming in here and we'll say while open brackets true, close brackets will open, and we'll come to the end here and we'll close again. and we'll save that off there, and we'll downsize the script and we'll go and test it out. And we'll hit play, and it may just take a moment while the script recompiles. So let's test this script out. So we can turn the flashlight on and off still. We have low and high drain battery speed. Let's try and pick up a battery. We can't go above 100. If we let it drain below 50, we'll make sure that we're only still adding 50, which we are. And if we drain below 10, then we should still get the flickering effect, which we do. If we pick up a battery, it should stop. And let's just see if we still get the perfect 0 for the current battery power when it runs out. And we're nearly there, and we do. And like I said, the return statement's now no longer necessary to achieve that. So we'll stop that there, and we'll leave it here for this lesson. Now, you'll probably want to go ahead and tidy up your comments, make sure they're all nicely in line, and you may want to experiment further by moving other parts of code out to other functions and then call them, but I'll leave that up to you to experiment for yourself. But I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to see you next time, and until then, bye for now.